Good morning, everybody. It's Monday. We made it back. Hi. Last week was crazy busy. I had kind of not expected to not be able to do daily devotion last Friday, and I'm sorry. I didn't count on my own brain. That happens. But I'm here today. I had a wonderful weekend. I taught a class, and as usual, I discovered that I probably put too much in my class. I needed a 5-hour, 6-hour window, not a 4-hour window, but that's okay. I could totally tell towards the end of the day or the end of the 4-hour workshop, that at least one of the students was like, wow, this is a lot of information to take in at one time. And I didn't get to do some of the exercises I wanted to with them, but I think I sent them away with a lot of really good information to chew on. And I also got another reminder from my guides that, yeah, you need to probably teach some things. So I'm going to be working on some stuff. Yay. Today's card is Remedy of the Grandmothers. Number 23. Isn't that a beautiful card? So, Remedy of the Grandmothers card in some ways is exactly the card that I needed today. I don't know if anybody else did, but I needed it today. I needed a reminder. Over the weekend, I had a conversation with someone that I feel like I've had this conversation several times over the last couple years. And I need to figure out how to write about it a little bit more clearly so that I think I need to teach a class on it. So I talk about it as everybody, especially healers, I think, or teachers or people who work with others, that is in any kind of like healing medicine, doctors, chiropractors, coaches, anybody who teaches, like that's their purpose, to work with other people's bodies, right? Our physical bodies. That includes counselors and psychologists, people like that, because it's still the human body, right? The human manifestation. And I'll read to you what I wrote first, and then I'll kind of chew on it with you a little bit. The medicine of the grandmothers is not just of herbs and plant medicine, but it is also the balm of healing for the soul. The grandmother's medicine speaks of a time on earth when her energy helps you on your personal healing journey. She helps to guide you to the Great Spirit for inspiring results. The energies of sky and earth are coming together with application and practice of real-world medicine, becoming a channel for divine blessing. If you're sick, you go to a doctor and you get medicine. Grandmother medicine is also a part of that journey, for adding into your consciousness the acceptance of the journey that led you to that healing. The divine combination of sky and earth will transform the way you see your experience in the physical world. Just like we know that mental health trauma and emotional abuse can cause long-lasting harm in the physical body, we also know that we need grandmother's medicine of herbs and whole foods and healthy water and good movement blended with connection to the divine to heal these things both in body and mind, right? When you find acceptance in grandmother's medicine and accept her healing, you will no longer find the divine when you find acceptance in grandmother's medicine and her healing, you will no longer fight the divine within yourself, pulling in competing directions or conflict about a key aspect of your life and belief system. This is healing, all things coming together in the right order and working together rather than against each other for a higher purpose. The healing journey for everyone demands or requires a period of purification. The cleansing of toxins from the body and mind and soul is a type of dark time. This is necessary for vitality, well-being, and divine beauty, love, grace, and growth. This purification is the foundation of a shift of consciousness to alter the body, mind, and spirit. If you attempt the shift without proper foundations and adequate preparation, the process can be destabilizing, generating unnecessary disorder, confusion, and sometimes backsliding. Proper preparation will help you with heightened senses, connecting and integrating your day-to-day life and thoughts. You are preparing for the cure, approaching the healing with the power of earth and respect, not control and power. You surrender attachments, practicing unconditional trust and acceptance of divine timing. Dislodging this idea of a fixed reality of your own experience, accepting the healing genius of heaven and earth and divine intelligence. I think that what I'm trying, there's several things in this card. There's layers. So if you get sick, like if I get a sinus infection, I'm not just gonna sit here and pray about it and do Epsom salt baths and hope I get better. I'm gonna go seek antibiotics. I'm going to get medicine, okay? My own medication for ADHD came up. I've had over time people who have kind of looked at me different in the sense that, oh, ADHD, that makes sense. You know, like I had one lady actually ask me, she was like, well, do you take medication for that? And I said, absolutely. She goes, well, does it interfere with your gifts? I'm like, absolutely not. If anything, it makes my ability to do the work I need to do better. Sometimes you need science, medicine to help, right? Like if you get cancer, you know, different types of cancer treatment, treat it differently. Most people, if they have a burst pancreas or appendix, they're going to go get surgery. They're going to go get help for that. You want science, you want medicine that helps with that, right? But at the same time, with, right? There is another side of it. There is the idea that you drink good water, you eat good food, you have good movement in your body, you're connected to your body. Traditionally, when medicine was prepared, depending on the Aboriginal and Native culture, there were sweats or medicinal preparations, songs, preparing the body for the cure, preparing the spirit and the mind to accept that cure, to accept that healing so that it went to the root of the problem. You're not just treating the symptoms, okay? Whole integrative medicine is a body, mind, spirit experience, okay? When I get a sinus infection, I know that it's a layered thing. If I get a sinus infection, I've had a cold or I've been in a place that's got a lot of mold in it. I am so toxically allergic to mold. Mold illness is a thing. I have trauma surrounding being sick. I have trauma in my body. I have a trauma response, an inflammation response in my body when certain things trigger. And then I have a cascade. I have a cascade effect. And to heal, it's not just, oh, I take a med and I run through it, because I've done that for decades, right? I've known for a long time that should not be the only way we do it. And I've known it, but knowing it and knowing how to apply it is not always an easy thing, right? When we talk about taking medicine and making ourselves rest, you know, I think COVID's done a wonderful thing for our world because some of the mindset has changed. You have to rest. You have to allow your body to heal. And the mental health aspect and the spiritual aspect of that is compounded in our world. We don't slow down enough. A lot of industries in the world, if you needed to take 2 weeks off to heal from something, they'd look at you like you had aliens coming out of your head. Our Western perspective of take as little time as you possibly need to heal and then get back to the grind is unhealthy. And we know it, As a society, we know it. As a culture, we know it. But turning that corner, some people are working on it, and we're not all there yet. And I get that. But the other side of it, and this is kind of where I had this conversation. I've had this conversation several times over the last several years, but if you're a healer, if you're a body worker, and you are going through massage school or medical school or whatever it is, you can do the book work, right? The book work's easy. You do the book work, you take the test. But it's the application thereof and working with people that if you follow just the clinical things, you only get so far. There's another layer within this, and that's the mind and the spirit of the person that you are applying medicine to. And you can only get so far until you address what's in you. There is a real disjunct in healing that practitioners are taught the book, the steps, A, B, C, and D, but they are not taught how to integrate that information, that healing, into who they are. And to do that, you have to prepare yourself. There is often with many spiritual healers that they go through what I look at as a psychic. When I look at a blueprint, I see it as what I interpret it, my words, a dark time. It's a dark time of feeling lonely, feeling isolated, feeling like you're working on all of your shadow stuff, and you are. It's not a dark time as in dark and desolate and negative. It's a dark time of reflection and self-care and emergence from the earth. Think of the seed when you plant it in the earth. It's dark and moist, and the seed is looking for that sunlight, and it has to burst through the darkness of that earth to reach that sun, to really get all of the nourishing elements from the sun. But you get all that nourishment from the water and the nutrients in the ground to get there. You are preparing to be that healer for others, but you have to apply that healing and that growth to yourself. And in some people, I know of a couple people actually fairly recently where we've had very long discussions about relationships. I am very, very blessed that I have a beautiful, amazing soul in my life. But boy, did I have to go through the dark time to get there. And I remember many, many, many years ago, knowing with every fiber and ounce and connection to the universe that eventually I would have somebody in my life that would be able to walk with me and support me and give me the grace to do the work that I need to do as a healer and as a teacher. I knew it. And I've known it for a really long time. But the time that I was going through, and I'm going to cry a little bit here, I sat in the bottom of my shower and I bawled and cried and ached, and every ounce of longing in my body of why can't you come sooner? Why can't you be in my life sooner? And that grief and that sadness and that longing. And I made mistakes, but those mistakes are not mistakes as in I did something awful. Those mistakes were, I had to go through the journey of preparation. I had to go through the gauntlet of darkness. I had to work through my shadow things. I had to go to counseling. I had to have bad relationships. I had to make very silly decisions. I had to make poor decisions. I had to make good decisions. I had to make all kinds of decisions with interpersonal relationships. I had to get to a point where I finally realized I can long all day long. But what I really need to do is I have to focus on my journey. I have to really turn around and stop looking outside of myself for others to help me. I have to look at myself. I have to look at this shell, this journey, and He was in my life for 3 years, 4 years before I really recognized and really saw who was standing right in front of me, because I couldn't see him for my own journey. And I was so intent on my own journey that I literally just did not see him in front of me. And that's okay. Sometimes you have to get to a place before you can see what's right in front of you. And sometimes that person is he was, at the time that I was bawling in the bottom of that shower stall, he was still 15 years away from me in time. In space, he was only about 12 years out from me. But in time, he was 15 years away in my life, because I had to get to the point where I would be able to recognize that partnership. And even then, wasn't real sure if my picker was working, so to speak. But that's grandmother medicine. Grandmother medicine is fundamentally Mother Earth, our ancestral connection that prepares us through the gauntlet of, sometimes you have to be alone. Sometimes you have to have that gauntlet of preparation where it seems like you're really alone. And women and men both in our society are conditioned from the time that they are children that you're looking for the one. Your journey is to, you get through school, you meet the person, you have 2.5 kids, and you live this life, this idea that you're going to be with one person for your whole life, or you're not complete. You have to have somebody in your life before you're complete. I had to get to the place to realize I am complete as who I am. And if he walks through the door tomorrow, great. If he doesn't walk through the door, I'm going to be okay. And I do have a partnership where I'm able to share things, but I also, even in that partnership, understand that I am not half of a whole without him. I am me, and I am complete, and I have a wonderful purpose and a journey to be on. And he has his journey too. And yeah, we are in a place where we can support each other in our journey. I had to get there the hard way. And I have had people who are like, but you have somebody. Why do you talk about it that way? You don't understand what I'm talking about. Oh, I get it. I've been there. Not your journey. I've not walked in your shoes. No, I do understand you're lonely. And I do understand that it's hard. And I do understand the need to have community. I went many, many years without community. And I went through really awful communities. People who I thought I could connect with. And instead it was this jealousy thing. They wanted to take everything they could for me because they thought I had the answer to everything. I don't have the answer to everything. I am in this with y'all. I am swimming in the water with you. I'm not sitting up on some high platform and say, I know all the things. No, I'm here with you right in the trenches. I just understand that I can share it with you from a different perspective, that maybe the alone time for you is your dark time. Maybe it isn't. Maybe you do have a husband, boyfriend, or whatever, girlfriend. Maybe you don't have that kind of dark time, but we all go through a dark time. And it may not be that you are divorced. Maybe you have a husband and children and you're not doing it alone, but you feel alone. You still have to go through that inner shadow work journey to work on the self. We all have it. I've met very few people who don't go through that in some way, and everybody's way is a little different, and it's still blessed and gracious and beautiful. So today's prayer, this is what I wrote for today's prayer. I call upon the divine presence of grandmother's medicine through my love and acceptance of Mother Earth and the Great Divine. I surrender my physical and mental bodies to the medicinal healing properties of divine love at work in all facets of my life. I accept the healing medicine through all aspects of my body, mind, and my spirit. however they manifest in my day-to-day life. I accept the changes that come from divine healing, and I accept the necessary preparations for this healing. Through the wave of divine timing, the compassion of the grandmother healers, as I ask to be shown the clear steps for my healing benefit. I ask to accept the experiences of true healing and the ripples outward through time as a sister brother in the world, blessed be. I'll put that out there for y'all. Celtic devotional theme today is, which of your plans needs better motivation? This one's a tough one because it's not the motivation problem that I have. It's I need to put it in a clear, defined list and not get overwhelmed by trying to cram it into our society's idea of what a timeline is. That's what I need. Okay, guys, long diatribe, but it's Monday. It's a heavy subject, but take your week and kind of think about think about it today. What is your dark time? Is your dark time interpersonal? Is your dark time internal? Is your dark time health issues? I've had dark time of health issues. I've had dark time of interpersonal relationships, and I've had dark time of spirituality. I've had dark times in all three, and I'm now on the other side of it. But I will tell you that it does get better. Accept the preparatory time. Accept the dark shadow work as your preparation to come into the light. We all need it, and it is important. And everybody's looks a little differently. And some people's it is interpersonal. It's relationships. Like maybe it's a divorce, and you've used relationships your whole life to prop you up so that you didn't have to deal with your stuff. I know people, I've met people that's what they've done. It's not bad. I'm not criticizing. I'm just acknowledging that I get it. I did that. Oh, did I do that? I made some poor choices. But it all worked out, and it will work out for you too. Have a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow in prayer.